Welcome guys and gals. My name is Alan with Center Consoles Only, and thank you guys for joining us. We're trying something a little bit different, and bear with us if there are any issues. This is our first attempt at it, and really what we wanted to do is dive in a little bit deeper through the walkthroughs that we did at the boat show. We did about 76 of them, so we have plenty of content to go through, and we realized there's a lot of questions that come through our YouTube channel regarding some of these boats. So today we have the Bahama Boatworks 41 and the Valhalla Boatworks 41, and in no way are we comparing the two. Just want to make that very clear. We just thought it would be interesting to pick two 41s just to start things off, and two of the more beautiful ones that we came across at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show. Definitely ones that we got asked a million questions on and just received a lot of engagement, I guess. So what we want to do is we're going to click on over to the walkthrough. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't, but if you haven't, go ahead and walk through it. Ask your questions as we go through, and I can pause as this video is happening. So that's going to be the cool part. A lot of the speaking portion is going to happen with either myself or Brian through these broadcasts on our YouTube channel. So we have most of the information there, but we'll be able to pause, answer some questions. And again, I'm not going to know all the answers to these, but we've gained a good amount of information on it, and I can give you some of the lowdown of what I've noticed, what I've learned, what they've taught us by spending some time with these manufacturers. So we're going to go ahead and start with the 41 from Bahama Boatworks. We linked up with the guys here. This was comfortably under the tent. It was definitely a hot one at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, and it was a showstopper. This 41 here was completely loaded with just about everything you can imagine. And these guys are well known for just excellent fit and finish and just doing a great job on their builds overall, but it's not one that we hear about often. They haven't really gotten up to speed with the social media portion, but we hope to get more experience on them and hope to get more opportunities on them. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. Eric's going to go ahead and drop us over, and let's take a look around. Let us know what you think. Ask your questions. We'll answer them as we go. So we jumped on the Bahama Boatworks 41, and we're going to take you on a quick tour of this customized beauty that they came up with. Bunch of Release Marine products, as you can see, with this rocket launcher, the accessories like the armrest, even up here above the leaning post. But let's go ahead and start with the power. This boat has quad 450Rs from Mercury Racing, pushing it upwards of 72 miles an hour. And you'll do about 1 mile per gallon at around 45 miles per hour. And this is a 22,000 pound boat, so very respectable. And if you see this, I mean, this is the best seat in the house right here. You can probably fit 6 people comfortably. You're not going to bounce back here towards the transom area, so excellent addition up high. And you have a removable backrest here, which is really comfortable and convenient. Just pop this out of the way though. If you get that headrest out, you actually have a 60-gallon live well with an optional plexiglass lid. You see our transom door over here with the seamless Gemlux hardware, which is really nice. You got a little sink area with fresh and saltwater washdowns here. Close this away. There you have your full bench. So we're gonna start here. They have this channel. All right, so guys, before we go ahead and continue along, you're gonna see the kind of quality that these guys show just in that transom area. That bench seat is phenomenal. Being able to put it up and outside on top of that gunnel area opens up that cockpit for you. A lot of the other boats do put their seating within the boat, and it makes sense, obviously, in certain aspects. They all have their pros and cons, but this one in particular gets you up and out. You have a huge backrest on it, extremely comfortable, and it still keeps that cockpit area completely open, offering you tons of space. You can see the hardware that they use is top-notch. The live well is beautiful. I mean, excellent start here with Bahama Boatworks, and let's go ahead and continue along. I'm going to show you this track now that they put at the opposite end where all the water funnels from the hatches. So it guarantees that no water makes it down to the beautiful, let's call it undercarriage for this Bahama 41. And you can see how pretty that thing is down there. You don't want any of that blood and guts from your fishing expeditions down under it. So this is a cool feature. Check it out. Back here, which actually all the water that seeps in through any of these holes, whether you're washing the boat, whether you happen to take a wave over the bow, a bunch of rain, whatever it is, it all ends up in this channel, which escapes through the side of the boat. So none of that water ends up ending up in your bilge. Whether you have fish, blood on the boat, none of that ends up in your bilge area. And you can see these guys have one of the prettiest bilges in all of the industry. Every section is closed off, so wherever you're working, you can open that panel. You have your sea chest right here, your bilges, any valves you want to get to. Extremely comfortable and clean, and you can use this as storage since it's all closed off and you don't. Back. Check out that bilge area. How insanely clean is that? I mean, every section is covered up with its own individual hatch. It's got a plexi cover there. Beautiful hardware as well. So you can just open up the area you want to get to, and all this is finished, so it doubles up as storage. One thing that's interesting, which I really don't understand, and I really don't remember as well either when we walked through this boat, is where their bulkheads are. I know this is a very strong and sturdy boat, but you can see how much room they have, and pay attention throughout the video from the bilge going back to the second compartment there where they have their Seakeeper, and wait until we get into the console. Let's go ahead and continue. Those valves and pumps exposed. You can see up to the bow area you do have a Seakeeper, which we're going to show you right now. Check out this beautiful Release Marine rocket launcher though. I mean, really nothing I could say about that. If you know, you know. They don't get much prettier, and the accents and it pops on this boat so nicely with the white. You can see it from a mile away, and it brings a lot of value to the boat. So here you have a Seakeeper 3, which is super nice on this boat. Very clean in here, and one thing that these guys do amazingly is they have a dual gasketed system, which right here you can see on the inside they have a stronger gasket, kind of firm, and they have a softer black one up here. So if the water's seeping in through here, it's not going to make it through two of these. So they pretty much guarantee you're not going to get any water from the deck. Even if you had 3 feet of water here, it's not going to make it into your Seakeeper area or your bilge or any of the hatches. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Did you get me there? All right, we're panning back and forth, and once again, we're testing all this stuff out. Eric is having a fit there trying to figure all this out. Hopefully it's going across well, but I mean, what an amazing idea to have the dual gaskets. They have one on the hatch itself, and they have one on the receiver underneath. So you are basically giving yourself double the protection from having water seep in, whether you have, like, you know, take a wave over the bow like we've seen on some of these videos at Haulover. You can have 2-3 feet of water in there, and it's not going to seep into that bilge area of your Seakeeper. It's got double protection, and they pretty much guarantee you're not going to get any water seepage in there. And trust me, we've been on boats that have hatches where the seals, the gaskets just do not work. Water drips in, and these areas are meant to be dry. And the bilge area is really not one of those dry areas, but you know, up in the storage boxes up front, the forward seating that you'll see on this one, the hatches into the console, the doors, all those things need to be very well sealed, and these guys do an amazing job. It's one of the only boats that we saw that little feature on at the boat show. So let's go ahead and continue. That matter. You can see this right here. They actually even angle this section of the leaning post, or cooler rear bench seat here, so it accommodates this door, letting you maximize that opening and giving you better access to the interior here. So they've thought of the little things, which we can definitely appreciate. Extremely nice looking rear bench seat here. Again, Release Marine armrests, which you can tuck away if more comfortable for you. And you have a really nice cooler in here with chill plates on this one in particular. So really nice to keep all your drinks cold. You barely need any ice for that scenario right there. Beautiful piping they have here, really simplistic, which we like. We don't tend to like, you know, tons of piping everywhere, so it's really nice to see. Very clean and simple. We got more teak Release Marine stuff. 3 more captain's chairs up here as well. Extremely nice. You can drop these down if you want to jump up there and have a seat if you're taking a long trip, or most of the time, you know, you're kind of just leaning on it, hence the leaning post name. So you have a 12-inch JL Audio subwoofer. They got JL Audio sound throughout this entire boat. And And before we make it here, actually, let me show you what we have under this area. Before we skip it, we got tons of storage here. Tackle, holding for your fluorocarbon, pretty much anything you need to take with you. You have it here, heavy duty compartments. If you look underneath here as well, you can see how well these boats are built, and there's a little valve here, which we're gonna talk to you about in a second, but all right, make sure you guys take note of that little feature that I mentioned there. That is the connection that goes to the Brownie's third lung, which you're gonna see up at the bow of the boat, right next to the side door of the hull here. So basically that thing is meant to have a compressor on the boat. If you wanna go diving, you know, have not compressed air, but actual oxygen pushed down to you with that compressor up to 80 feet, I believe. You can have hoses up to 120. You can connect it right there, just a quick disconnect, go out that door, and now wherever you're anchored up, you can have that access and be able to, you know, dive down to a reef right off your boat. We have one of those Brownie's third lungs, and they're absolutely amazing. The fact that they integrated it into the boat and it's there full time is absolutely incredible. And check out underneath those gunnels, the kind of quality of work that these guys do. It's just small details that most don't even notice on boats, but if you check out every nook and cranny on this thing, it's absolutely immaculate. So let's get back to it. Keep that in mind, right by the transom door here, which opens inward. And this rocket launcher, basically you adjust it, move it to the side, and you can open it all the way. In case you're gonna ask about that, gives you great access to jump in and out of the dock if you're gonna do any diving. And that little valve right there is exactly where it needs to be. So before we get up to that, we got a really nice Edson wheel here, bow thruster, two 16-inch Garmin units. You got your switch panel, port and starboard here, tucked away. They light up when they're in use. You got a FLIR camera on this one, Optimus 360 joystick. Obviously your throttle, great visibility here, and up top you got storage for your dry goods, your Mercury vessel view, your ICOM VHF. You can close all that away. And if you are jumping off at a restaurant or leaving the boat overnight over in the Bahamas, raise that up, lock it, good to go. All right, guys, I want to actually ask a question. That feature is really nice. You can see you can lock up your electronics and that little storage space under there. Something I'm sure you've noticed that we're seeing more and more is that open dash with no plexi, no storage, no nothing, just open, flush. We have that on our reef runner ourselves. I wanted to ask you guys to see what you like better. Do you like a compartment that you can use to protect your gear and electronics and have a little bit of storage if you're gonna get off in a restaurant, lock that thing up, leave, you know, your keys in there, whatever you wanna do? Or do you rather, is the cosmetic portion more important to you, where you can just leave that thing flush and have a nice black plexi, or just do it directly into the fiberglass? Ask the question. Let us know what you think. That's a question I have. Be curious to know what you guys think. So let's continue on. Go ahead and drop that in the comments. More storage right there. Your wallet, dry goods, things you want to get out of the way. I think I opened that incorrectly. We'll figure that out. So working our way up towards the bow, continue that way. Got your good Seakeeper sign. This lounger is extremely interesting. Besides being really nice with, again, the Release Marine armrest, adjustable, really nice upholstery on all this. Crack this baby open and check out that organizational unit. I don't even know if that's a word, but that's what I can come up with. You can basically put beer bottles or cans. We'll go more PG on that one. Bottles here. You can organize your food, keep it all separate. You have all those compartments for that. You have chill plates on both sides, so you really don't even need ice in here at all. Basically, those chill plates will take care of bringing these drinks down to, and food, whatever temperature you'd like. You don't even have to stress the ice. So in this one as well, we got forward seating, and these are huge. You can see the size. All right, guys. Wanted to go back real quick to that lounger area. What do you guys think about that? I mean, it's obviously the entertainer's setup where you can put your bottles, you can throw any kind of, you know, water bottles, liquor bottles, beer bottles in there and just lay them up, stand them up nicely. And you have the chill plates where you really don't even need ice. So If you're going to be doing a lot of fishing, that's not ideal. I actually don't know if that is removable. It would make sense if that interior piece was removable, so you can go ahead and take that out and use it as a fish box if you wanted to, or stack it up a little bit more for a Bahamas trip or anything like that. But you can see this boat has a ton of storage, a ton of boxes everywhere, so you might not even need to do that. Let's continue on and check out the quality of these this forward seating situation they have here. The length of these things, I mean, you can fit two of me lengthwise here, or you can lay down and have room to spare. Again, release marine backrests. And if we open this up, we have chill plates on both sides of this as well. Take a look in here, you can see that both sides. I mean, this thing's got to stay cold. No worries whatsoever for ice. If you want to throw a few bags of ice in there, it's up to you. So we got a windlass up at the bow of this one. And if we jump over here, you can take a look at that. You guys want to see it all? Very nice setup, through hull, windlass, nice and clean. If you don't want to deal with the anchor, that's the way to go. So if you step over this way, let's open this hatch. Massive, massive fish box. Again, you got the dual gasketed system. Up towards the bow, you have the bow thruster, easy access for maintenance. And then back here, among other things, you have your compressor for your Brownie's third lung. So you have your whole setup down here. And back there at that valve, over by the side door, you can connect your hose, whether it be 80 feet, 100 feet, whatever you purchase of hose length. Drop that line out the side door, and you're diving with actual oxygen. It's not compressed air. You can be down there all day long if you want, which is actually amazing and incredible to have, you know, included in this boat full time. You don't have to bring the... All right, guys, real quick. You saw that, the compressor I was talking about, the third lung. You can see how nice they even put the bow thruster set up there. I mean, it looks like it's a display case, like they're displaying the mechanical portion of each of these items at a museum. That's how nice that stuff looks. But yes, you're on a 41 Bahama, and that's the way they work it. They do a great job. We had a question from Mark. How well do those chill plates work? Do you need ice? From my experience, they keep things rather nicely cool and chilled without any ice. Normally, if I'm using them, I like to throw a little bit of ice in there just to create that slush. If I'm any sort of drink, whether it be, you know, a water or anything else, I like it to be as cold as possible. So that ice and that bit of slush actually helps, but you really don't need it. It keeps that thing like a refrigerator, and everything ends up nice and cool. So it is a really nice feature. Yeah, could be something that could, you know, give you problems and break over time, but just like anything, you maintain this stuff and it'll treat you well for a long period of time, and just keep it up. Certain things will need to be fixed, but they'll take care of you if you take care of them. So we're gonna go ahead and continue through this video for a minute here. Large tube with you. It's a ton of gear. You kind of have it on the boat, and whenever you need it, it's there for you. So let's work our way to the last big one here. We have the console cabin. Crack this open. See how sturdy that door is? Have a deadbolt lock here, so this is a serious locking mechanism. You can lock your stuff in here with total confidence. All right, guys, gonna answer another question real quick, and this is regarding pricing on all of these boats. We get a ton of comments asking us to display pricing on these boats, but what you guys don't really realize is that this 41 in particular is rigged out to a point which I honestly don't remember the price that they told us, if they told us at all, but this is like top tier. The price on this one to an entry level 41 could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. All the Release Marine products, the teak accents, the Brownie's third lung, the rocket launcher, all those additions are going to be a huge number. So most of these guys don't really like to put a number out there unless you come to them and give them an idea of what you're looking for. Just, I'm sure they do it so they don't scare you away, giving you a price on this one, when realistically maybe you can get into an actual 41 at a more entry level, depending on what you want. Maybe you don't want, maybe you don't need it. So just to get into that, it's tough for us to get pricing for most of these. If it's a dealer situation, sometimes those dealers work those numbers a bit differently as well. So we don't like to say a number, hey, this boat's 85,000, and the other guy says, no, it's 90. So to get away from that, we really recommend you reach out to Bahama Boat Works and spec out the boat yourself, get the price from them directly. We just don't want to get ourselves in a position where we give you the wrong information. So let's continue along. This console is absolutely insane. Wait till we drop in here. You can see the quality of that door and the hardware of that lock. Crazy. I mean, you can close that thing with all the confidence in the world that no one's getting in there. Take a look inside once we dive in, how impressive this is. Teak accents down there on the floor area. Give it a nice touch. Some rod storage along the starboard side. You got your head. And then if you look down this way, you got an unbelievable amount of storage. You look up, you see the rigging, how clean everything is. Just check that out. You got your batteries, easy access down in there. You could fit 4 people laying down in this area just for representation. One more thing, this whole back panel, if you guys like easy access to your rigging for any sort of maintenance, you got your battery switches there, ignition switches, everything back here. Shore inverter, refrigeration, Garmin units obviously, Seakeeper module, and this whole panel completely opens. You can get to everything without having to struggle at all whatsoever. It does not get any more convenient than that. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I doubt you can tell me I'm wrong. Come out here. I think we all right, going back in there, how crazy is that console area? Quality is insane. That opening to the rigging is literally the entire space. So they don't just give you a small door to access your rigging. It's that whole section. It's almost like ripping out that entire piece of fiberglass on that back area to be able to access everything. Now, like I said, that piece underneath what ends up being the console all the way back to the leaning post is just a huge area. You can lay down in there and literally put 3 or 4 people down in there. That's how big it is. So I'm guessing the fuel tanks are on either side, port and starboard, and they left that center area completely open, which is really nice. I mean, you can take luggage for a family of 8 down there and really not even notice that it's on the boat. So again, pros and cons. There's some people that like that large tank down the center. For rideability, I've never heard a negative thing about the ride of a Bahama personally. Haven't sea trialed one within our group here, but you can see the benefits of having those saddle tanks in comparison to the large tank down the center. So any questions you have, keep shooting them over. I got a screen there, which now we know we got to get it a little bit closer to me. I don't have that bird's eye vision or hawk vision. What would you call it? I'm not a sniper. So we'll work on that. We'll continue through this video. Continue asking your questions. Let us know what you guys think. Basically have covered it all. We want to thank you guys for spending the time with us. The sun is starting to go down here at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show. We want to thank Bahama Boat Works for giving us the time to walk through this 41 Custom. Absolutely gorgeous. Everyone involved in this boat, JL Audio, Garmin, Release Marine, Mercury Racing, excellent collaboration. So thank everyone for having us involved. Thank you guys for taking the time. Subscribe to our channel if you find value in these videos. We really appreciate it. We want to do more and more and provide you the information you need when you get ready to buy a boat. You can do your research with us and we'll answer any questions that we possibly can. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere you find Center Consoles Only. And thank you again. We look forward to seeing you once again soon. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and go down. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, we're kind of messing with things, trying things out, seeing how many of you would get involved if we did this weekly on different boats. And again, it's just to get into more information than we do on these walkthroughs. Usually we're knocking those things out quickly. We're not able to answer your questions as they're happening. Valhalla 41, that's another one we wanted to go through. Oh, what did I do? Okay. So here we have the Valhalla. How do I get this thing out of here, Eric? We have the Valhalla 41 we wanted to get into here. All right, guys, we came over to Valhalla. So we have the Valhalla 41, and again, in no way are we comparing these two boats. They just happen to be 41s. They happen to be rigged out with Release Marine products. They're both absolutely amazing and top tier any way you go about it. Two of our favorites that we saw at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, and it was just a start. We're likely not ever going to do a comparison type situation, just to not, you know, upset or bother anyone. But you guys can go through any of these videos and check out our hundreds of walkthroughs. And the whole idea is to bring value to you here on our YouTube channel. So you can basically go onto our center consoles only main screen, search out any brand that you want, Valhalla, Bahama, and it's gonna show you if we've done that video. So we get a lot of questions, have you done this, have you done that? It's the best way to do it. I don't believe you can do it on your phone. I think you have to do it on the desktop, but it's really easy once you do that. Get on our page, search it out. It'll let you know, boom, boom, boom. We have the Valhalla 33, 37, 41. Check out what you want to check out. Then if you have another brand in mind, go ahead and search that one out. Compare the two, share them with your friends, and hopefully it brings you some value. Again, we're not here to really give you our opinion. We're here to give you an overview of these boats so you can go through them, choose your top 2 or 3, and then we always recommend you reaching out to these guys. Set up a sea trial, see them in person, because no matter how pretty these videos are, and we do try to make them as pretty as possible, it's nothing like seeing it in person. So always go check it out in person. Jump on a sea trial if you can, and that's really what's going to make the decision for you, and whether it's the right boat for you, your family, your friends, your type of boating that you want to do. So let's go ahead and jump on this 41 from Valhalla. Obviously, this is a company from Viking Boat Works. They came out with a center console line and did an absolutely amazing job. We went to Atlantic City to see their unveiling of these 3 models, and it seemed like within a year, I believe it was a year and a half from the drawing of these boats kind of being in the drawing board. A year and a half into it, they were already building their first line of boats and got to that Atlantic City within a year and a half. Most people do not do that. So these guys know what they're doing. Fast forward another year from that point, and here we are, and they have about 100 boats out already and complete in a year. So obviously Viking knows what they're doing. They do an amazing job with the yachts. We've always been huge fans of Viking, so the fact that they jump into the center console demographic makes a ton of sense. And if you haven't seen this boat, definitely stick around for that. Let's jump on it and take a look around. Boat Works and jumped on their current flagship, the V41. We're going to take you on a quick loop around on this beauty, go from every detail from the stern all the way to the bow. Hope you guys enjoy. Eric jumped down here with me. So this one is paired with Mercury Verado 400s quads, which is absolutely excellent for this. You can also do quad V8 300s, is a great setup. So they work with Mercury power, and we'd love to see it on these boats. So take a look here, starting off at the live well. This owner opted with a clear plexi lid and a nice blue paint job in there. This is a large well. This has got to be 60 gallons pretty easily or more. Aquarium front panel as well, so you can check out your baits, make sure everything is doing well from up in the cockpit, which is always nice and entertaining. All right, guys, just a quick question. We are hearing a little bit of a difference in sound. Drop a comment there if you're hearing the same thing. It kind of drops in at a low volume and then pops in a higher volume. Let us know. Help us get better at this, and drop a comment there if you're seeing it. I see, just off topic here, someone's asking if we're going to do a live walkthrough on the 53 Scout. Yep, we do have a walkthrough on our YouTube channel. I'm not sure if it's been dropped yet. I believe Eric says it has, so you can search Scout boats. We'll have the 53. We have several models from the Scout line. So search Scout, like I mentioned, and you should have that one pop up. Bahama Boat Works with a glass windshield. We didn't ask that question, but I would assume that they can just about make anything happen that you guys want from the kind of builder they are. They're not the company that builds 500 boats a year. They're a smaller company, high quality, and I'm sure you can customize certain things. So I would definitely reach out to them to see if they'll do that for you, but I would have to think that it is a possibility. I know you're CCO, but are you guys going to do dual consoles? We probably are not going to do dual consoles here, as it's center consoles only. We have yachts only as well, which we're going to get into the yachting side with a lot of this upcoming soon. So keep an eye out for that. There might be some large dual consoles in there. Otherwise, we did do a couple with JL Audio, walking one of those at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, which we put up on their social media channels, and I believe Mercury Marine has that one as well. It's one of the Chris Craft models, which was an absolutely insane dual console model there. So check it out on the JL Audio page on Instagram or Facebook, or Mercury Marine Instagram, Facebook. You should be able to see like a 3 or 4 minute walkthrough there, and hopefully that does it for now. I think we did a Boston Whaler as well. So you might see them scattered around. We filmed them. You're probably not going to see it on the Center Consoles Only platform, but we'll see where this all goes. Maybe we get there one day. So let's go ahead and continue. I mean, just with the transom, this one with the Quad 400 Mercury Verados is a rocket ship. With the triple 300s is also a super nice setup. With any of these boats, we love those V8s from Mercury. You can just see how clean this boat is. It's got, you know, yacht-like finishes. There's not an abundance of hatches, storage, things that are going to rattle when you're running around. They're made to look like they're Viking yachts, just simple, clean, and we love that. I mean, that's one of my personal favorite things on a boat, just to not have a ton of stuff flying around or flapping around. Just what you need and not too much of the things that really don't matter all that much. So the live well is beautiful. Even that interior blue paint is fantastic. They do the faux teak on a lot of these on the transom to mimic the Viking yachts. A lot of these are built as tenders for the Vikings. So it just gives that sport fish feel. Super nice. They have these pop-up chairs on the port and starboard side, so they tuck away if you're going to do any fishing. Even offer you a little toe kick underneath there, which is super nice. When you're fishing, you can stick your toes on there and you're not kind of leaning over. And then once again, we'll get into the deck area. You can see even the drains, how clean those little details are. I believe this one has a Seakeeper, so let's go ahead and keep going forward. Kids sometimes as well have these pop-up seats, which are excellent. You don't even realize they're there when you're running. The crew can sit back here. You got some extra seating, and when you're getting ready to handle your business, pop it away. Don't even realize it's there. They provide a toe kick underneath, which is excellent, and a pad for your legs if you're fighting some fish. Really nice detail here. Take a look at some of the fish boxes. Nice large boxes. Everything drains overboard. Doesn't end up in your bilge with all the fish, blood, and guts. It keeps everything very clean. Pop this hatch open. Here we have a Seakeeper 3, which is an option on this boat, but every boat comes engineered and ready for the Seakeeper. So if you wanted to add one after the fact, if you're a second owner, purchase a Valhalla, you can always do so. So it's always ready for you when you're ready. Take a look into the bilge. Everything is nice and clean, as you'd expect from Valhalla. You got hooker sea chest there, fuel management system, bilge pumps. All right, guys, I'm gonna, if you saw that, and I actually pulled this back a hair. Obviously, this is a nice setup in here, very clean. It's finished on the inside. A small detail which is really nice is you can see they actually create kind of like an indentation that flows that water down into a sunken space where the bilge pumps live. So the whole reason I mentioned that is because one thing I do see on a lot of boats is they'll have that fiberglass going back and they'll just pop that bilge pump or two bilge pumps right at the top. Problem is that elevation they're at is too high, so you end up just getting a wish-wash of water in the bilge all the time. That's another little pet peeve of mine, and something I didn't really realize when we shot this, but I noticed it now. And when I click back on here, you're gonna see it right away. They have the two bilge pumps kind of dug in the back, and there's like almost like a ravine kind of like built out, so you can guarantee that most of that, if there's any extra water buildup, it's gonna stay in that little space back in that corner, and all this finished bilge area is gonna be nice and clean and not just be a moldy area that holds water all the time. So go check this out. Sea chest there, fuel management system, bilge pumps, everything easy to get to, excellent access here in the bilge. Ready? Now we'll work our way towards this leaning post. Actually, we got a side door here. You can see it flips over. It's a two-piece, and this, I believe, comes inward actually. I'll show you that. Very nice when you're docked up at the sandbar. Makes it real easy. Keeps you away from the props over the transom as well. So here we have a nice big rear bench seat, a large insulated cooler underneath, your food and your drinks, and a real comfortable seating area for up to 3 or 4 people. And this backrest, really can't even tell it's there, but excellent storage. All your tackle, Plano boxes, pliers, fluorocarbon, anything you need right there. You got your rod holders up top, mixed in with some cup holders, so a little bit of fishing, but you can have your drink with you as well. As we'll make our way forward, we have integrated Lumitech spreader lights in the hardtop. As you can see, this one has a fusion head unit. We have autopilot, we have ICOM VHF radio. This owner does a lot of trolling. We got some teaser reels integrated to the hardtop as well, which is really nice. Great visibility over this Helm. They have kind of a radius polycarbonate, which gives it a really... All right, guys, we're gonna try something else out. We have another angle of camera. So what I did was, through Eric's recommendation, I dropped the iPad down. So we're gonna get the overhead cam, which is up here. And I can kind of point things out, which would make items like that bilge that I just discussed a little bit easier for you. So just to point it out, see how this works. We're testing this. We're going to go back and check how this all looks. Right here you can see the great visibility you have here. One thing they do nice is that they have kind of like a radius on this polycarbonate here. So it's not squared off on any edges. There's no seams on this corner where you would have on a rectangular or squared off scenario here. So it's all a nice radius, clean, with no breaks, no I guess upholstery or whatever you call this material on these corners. You have some piping up there, which is a very, very tiny impediment in your vision, but normally when you're running the boat, you're not gonna notice those things at all. So really super nice and clean from Valhalla. One thing they do nice as well is that they don't have a really tall console. So with the angle they have on their electronics panel, their dash here, it really gives you a nice field of vision, even if you're not 6'4", which none of us in our group are that tall, me especially. But it's great to have that visibility on a 41-footer. It doesn't feel like you're just on a big cumbersome boat. You're on a really nice platform there without even being elevated on the deck at all. So let's go ahead and continue along. Let us know what you think about this little detail here. Did it look good to you guys? Was it cool? Was it not? Do I got to move this thing over a little to the left? We'll continue improving this, but thought that might be a little bit of a cool angle, and Eric, good call on that. Let's look outside of the boat, but perfect visibility within here as well. The console. All right, well, just to show you this real quick, something they had really nice here also is a small Edson wheel. It wasn't one of those massive wheels that otherwise you probably see on a lot of boats. It feels like it's unnecessary to have, you know, these bigger wheels. Personally like these smaller setups like this one, and this kind of chromed out Edson is super nice with that faux teak pod that they put down the center. So really nice with their vessel view there. They got their switch panel custom flush mounted into the dash along with the Garmin electronics. Really nice and clean. Some cup holders. You got your zip wake control right here, your bow thruster, and your throttles, and that's it. So real simple, easy, not much to it. Let's go ahead and continue along. Which gives it a nice overall finish. You got a zip wake, that automated trim tab system, if you haven't heard about that. Pretty cool. Your vessel view, you got your bow thruster, throttles obviously, faux teak package here, which gives you a nice pod with your Edson wheel. Then you open this up and you got some storage, your mic from your ICOM VHF, your hooker valve adjustment system. Depending on what you're doing with your live bait fishing, you can adjust the pressure to your pumps. So you also got some storage here, your wallet, your keys, things you don't want to get wet. more storage here, obviously all the covers for the electronics. And there you go, you got more access to more of your rigging and stuff there. Storage underneath the toe kick area, the footrest here at the helm also. So they really maximize all the space that they possibly can. We'll work our way up this way. More storage underneath. All right, guys, looking into that storage, it brought something to my attention. Something that we noticed as well with the Valhalla brand is that all of these doors, and it seems like every compartment under the leaning post, under the console, you know, a lot of guys use just starboard made aftermarket parts, which is not a problem. Plenty of boats do it and it's perfectly fine, but you can appreciate when a company goes a little bit above and beyond like what these guys do. Companies like CV do that a lot as well, and they actually make all of their parts, their doors, their receivers, everything is made in-house, and that gives it like a real high quality finish, which is tough to surpass. So just something I wanted to mention there. We'll go ahead and continue as we look through some of these hatches and all the storage space they have. Tunnels here, they got JL audio speakers recessed into the liner. More tackle storage here on the leaning post as well. So no lack of storage whatsoever. These right here are adjustable, the Release Marine chairs, which this teak finish really gives a Sportfish-like look and feel, and Release Marine does an absolutely impeccable job. You're seeing more and more of those. Not inexpensive, but wanted to go ahead and shout out Mark Morgan right there in the comments. Yes, thank you very much. We have this problem that we cannot remember to ask you guys to please subscribe to the channel. It's the only way we monetize anything on this channel. Eventually, just by our views, it helps us get pushed to more people if you guys engage. So we put a lot of work into this, as you can see with the set, the amount of walkthroughs we do. It's all to bring you guys value as time goes on. So all we ask is you support, and you guys have done a great job at that. We're not complaining in one bit, but if you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and pass it along to anyone that might find value in what we're doing, we would appreciate that 1,000 times over. So I just wanted to stop a second. My apologies there. Thank you guys again for sticking with us, and let's continue on here with the Valhalla 41. Worth the money in comfort and just style. You see him coming from a mile away. Now here is this little slam latch there. Storage for your chamois, cleaning materials. Again, utilizing the space, which otherwise would just be wasted. I'll pop this open. Nice forward box here as well. And this one has additional saddle tanks, fuel tanks. So right behind that, you have access to those saddle tanks there with that panel. Close this up. Continue making our way forward. We got rod holders on both sides of this lounger. Real quick, had a question for you guys. It was something that we were discussing with the Orion guys with that 2129 we're kind of helping them with. That box right there that's alongside of the console, for me, seems like an excellent idea. And maybe you guys can comment your thoughts, your opinions, I guess. When you're looking at a deck, do you want to utilize every bit of space that you have there, whether it be for storage, fish boxes, or what have you? I mean, we always like simplicity. We like to keep it clean, but we also don't like to have coolers and dive gear and all kinds of nonsense scattered on the deck. So that was a question we had. What do you guys think? Let us know. We want to get more of your opinion, and this live thing would be a great way to do that. So if you guys can contribute and let us know what do you like about this boat, what are your dislikes? Let us know that as well. We always respect the builders. We know what it takes to build something like this, and to build especially a name like Viking. Mr. Pat Healy is an excellent human being. He's been great with us, and Justin and Sean, Chris over there, the entire group of Viking is top notch, and we're blessed to call them friends. So we like to learn from this, and I think eventually they'll learn from this as well. And that's kind of what we want all this to turn out to be, not something that we bash this person or speak highly about someone that doesn't deserve it. It's being honest, but respectful as we are to everyone, just like if we were talking to a family member or a friend. So let us know what you think. Keep jotting down comments. We're going to read a couple, and then we'll jump back and answer a few here in a second. Really nice lounger right here. This one in particular has live well underneath. And I believe you can actually pop this whole thing open as well if you wanted. So you got dual access to that live well. Here we got more storage, which they have stacked up, but no lack of storage. All the boxes are insulated. I believe this one is as well. If not, it's just great additional storage there. But you got tons of coolers, insulated fish box space. This one just adds on to that. Look at the size of this thing. Absolutely massive. All right, let's jump back in here. I want to thank what's the name there that liked the views, the top angle we did here. Thank you guys for commenting. Glad you like it. We'll keep figuring that out. And I think the different views definitely make a difference. Instead of you're staring at my face the whole time, I don't think anybody wants that. We want to focus on the boats. We want to show different angles to be able to relay what we want to get across here. So thank you for that. Mark, you're back again. Let me tell you about the zip wakes. For you that don't know about it, it's basically an alternative trim tab system. We have limited experience with it. We actually saw it for the first time with Valhalla over in Atlantic City. And basically what it is, instead of being a trim tab system that uses this kind of action coming off of your transom with a large panel, basically it's just small pieces that go downward, and really it's all automated, which is the cool part. As much as most of us think that we are, the biggest and the baddest captain, everybody loves to talk of how great they are at captaining a boat. You can't beat a computer, unfortunately, that can test out or learn from the conditions, learns what that boat can do, and eventually what that thing does is it automatically trims your boat to the optimal cruising position depending on what you're going through in that specific angle, direction, wind speed, whatever it may be. Yes, I'm pretty sure you can override that if you are going through haulover and you're in a big following sea and not really even sure how those things work. At that point, you definitely don't want them running on their own when you're trying to trim your engines up to keep that bow up. So I'm sure there's an override to it, but most of the time, and the idea is to have these boats eventually drive themselves in a way that is better than we could ever do on our own. So as much as you want to try to go through it and tab on your own, there's always a delay, human error. There's always factors that a computer is not going to have, as much as you guys don't like it. It's just technology going forward, and just like we use the iPhones and those sort of things to make our lives easier, that's what these products are for. So I'm sure we're going to see more of that, and if we can get a video on that eventually, we definitely will try to do that, but we haven't been able to do that yet. So more coming soon. Here we go. Headed to the forward fish box on the Valhalla 41. Everything is finished. All the hatches underneath. You're not going to find anything that's not finished on this boat. And you got forward seating on this one. You got release marine backrests, which match obviously with the captain's chairs up at the helm. So these are like a nice pod shaped configuration. So although you have this seating up here, you have access to the bow. You can run up, fight your fish, access your windlass. You have access on both sides there as well. Faux teak tow rail along this boat, both sides, all the way around, obviously. Just overall beautiful setup up here. So, did we show under here? More storage under these boxes. So these aren't insulated. These are just storage, life jackets, things like that. You want to keep dry. Just give you additional storage space up at the bow. We've seen these. You got rod holders up here as well. I believe it's all gem-like. All right, coming back real quick, the forward seating, just wanted to talk about that. That's something that we normally have people complain that either a boat does not have forward seating or it has forward seating. It seems like if a boat offers it or it's come standard, people don't want it. If you don't offer forward seating, everybody wants it. It's something we see every day, and I'm sure the manufacturers battle with this all the time. One thing that Valhalla did with these pods up there is that they designed them in a way where they're not overly cumbersome. They don't take up too much of that space up there, so you honestly can put forward seating. I probably wouldn't go with forward seating on a lot of boats personally, but this one is one that I would definitely consider because you almost don't feel like they're there. You use them, someone can sit there laid out comfortably if you're out with the family, but when you're fishing, going around that little pod area is no problem at all. You have full access to the bow, which is, you know, if you're kite fishing or fishing sailfish or anything like that, and you're gonna be fighting a fish off the bow, those things are not gonna get in your way at all. So this is one that I've seen where it makes a lot of sense to add that up there just to have some extra seating when you need it, and a little bit of extra storage space or cooler space or whatever that is in there. So just wanted to mention that. Really nice design by Valhalla, keeping it minimalistic, and just having an option that probably can work in either direction, no matter which way you go on that topic. So let's get back into it. We're going back to the console boxes that I mentioned before. What do you guys think about those? Do you like having those there? Would you rather have that clean along the console? Drop that comment there, let us know. Mark, where you at? Use another fish box, more storage, and let's go ahead and pop this console open. So let's slide that. Have their own hinge system, which is very interesting. Storage there underneath. Check out this hinge. You can grab it from inside and close it. Maybe you want to show how that works a little. Cool system. Access to your rigging. You have your sink, your head, more storage. Everything looks good. You can pop up out of there. All right, real quick into the console. You can see this is a little smaller console. These boats are made more for just straight fishing. Obviously, you're gonna look good doing it in one of these boats, but that console area is more for your head. It's got a little bit of storage, access to your rigging, electronics, a little smaller hatch than we saw in the Valhalla, but still great access there. And then you got storage going underneath. This one in particular has the lounger with the cooler up front, so more of that space is taken up at the bow, or that console space is taken for that cooler setup, which realistically, again, it depends what you guys do. I don't see a lot of people actually sleeping in these boats for 2 or 3 nights, even though it's definitely possible. A lot of, I guess, potential buyers that come and ask us our thoughts on the comfort of sleeping with your family in a center console. Yeah, there's boats that do it. It's not going to be a large space. I personally like to utilize the deck space, have a cooler setup like what these guys have, because that's where you're going to spend 99% of your time. If you're that individual that needs a little bit more console space, maybe the center console isn't up your alley. And there are some that do focus more on that comfort in the console and take away from the deck space. So there's something out there for everyone. And like I said, just wanted to talk about what these guys do. They have a really nice door here as well. That hinge is really, really rugged, heavy duty. Only one I've seen, I think, like that. So it seems like it's specific just to them. Really nice boat. We're going to continue on. We got about a minute left. Here we go. Work our way back. I think we basically have covered everything. All in all, this is a beautiful boat. The whole lineup from Valhalla is amazing, and they have their new V46, which is going to be the new flagship coming very soon. Dying to see that thing. So we have some more footage on our YouTube that you can check out from Valhalla, from our trip to Atlantic City. Go back and check that one out if you haven't. But we hope you enjoyed this walkthrough on the V41. We have much more coming soon. If you like what you see and you find value to it, subscribe to our channel. That helps us a lot. We have much more, like I said, coming soon. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and anywhere you find Center Consoles Only. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon. All right, guys, well, there you have it. Want to thank all of you for sticking around. It actually did quite a bit better than we were expecting. We didn't really put this out there very much because, like we said, it was a test, and we're going to continue testing. We're definitely not pros in any of these things, but what we do is the research. We work at it. We try to learn, and we try to put something out there that's a bit different than anyone else. We don't even like to see what any sort of competition is putting out because we like to be unique and come up with our own ideas. So this seemed to be kind of a cool one. We have Mark, we have Jim, a few others that were engaging. Again, that's what makes all this interesting. I don't want to sit here and just talk to myself all the time. There's going to be shows that will put some products out here with reps discussing the details and a lot more with a lot more knowledge than what I have. We'll have some of our guys, Brian, here, so we can chat back and forth on some of these boats. He did a lot of walkthroughs this year at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, which we basically divided up and conquered it. So we want to know more of what you guys think. Let us know how we can improve it. What can we add? What should we subtract? Let us know what it would take to make this a weekly thing. We really would like to do it, you know, Wednesday afternoons, Saturday mornings. Also give us an idea of what times make sense. We know everybody works. Although you can catch this thing after the fact, it's going to live on our YouTube channel and you can watch it afterwards. We'd like for you guys to catch it live so you can ask those questions. We can answer some and make it more interesting that way. I think the live portion of it really makes it fun. I'll mess up plenty of times here. That's always fun to watch. So we'll continue at it. Again, if you find value in anything we do here at Center Consoles Only, subscribe to that YouTube channel. That one little button helps us. But don't just do that. You know, come and watch what we put out. Let us know what you'd like to see. We're always trying to come up with new ideas, and a lot of you guys send suggestions which end up turning into projects for us. So throw those out there. We'd love to hear those and get involved as much as possible. We're out here to be a friend of yours. You know, we talk to hundreds and hundreds of people per day through Instagram, Facebook, and all these platforms, answering questions and trying to pass the little bit we learn each day over to you. So thank you once again. We appreciate your time. Keep commenting so we can learn about the time that makes sense for everybody and what you thought. Feel free. Our feelings will not be hurt. Let us know. We did this good. We did this bad. You can fix that. We can do that. Lay it out there and we'll do better next time. Hopefully we'll see you next Wednesday or Saturday. And thanks again.